Guys, it is pickling day, so we're going to do a video on canning all of these big beautiful cucumbers that we have gotten in. So stay tuned and follow along. The other day when I had started getting a bunch of cucumbers in, I had already started to slice them and put them in a gallon bag of water. So after the big harvest the other day that was on the other video, I went ahead and weighed them out. For this recipe that I'm using, it's in the ball book. It's Grandma's Dill Pickles, and it's a 2-day because I'm back to working, so I'm going to go ahead and just do a 2-day. But we're actually going to do it in 1 day because you only have to let them sit for 12 hours. So I'm starting early in the morning, and then I can do it after supper tonight. The recipe calls for 8 pounds of cucumbers, which is 75% of what I already had picked. So what I did was cut the ends off and then slice it up in at least a 1/4 inch slice or less. You don't want to go too much thinner because then it won't hold its crispiness. So I did them at a 1/4 inch thick. And then you need 18 cups of ice. And luckily we had just went and got ice. So then what you do is you layer your cucumber, ice, cucumber, ice, cucumber, ice in a crock or a large bowl. Now I'm using my water bath container. And what I did was I layered, like it said, layered ice and cucumber. And I'm at home all the time. I never fix my hair, sorry. I look so horrid all the time. And then in a bowl, we're going to dissolve a 1/2 cup of pickling salt, which there is a difference. We need pickling salt, which is this. Alright, we need a 1/2 cup of that to 4 cups of water. Okay. So we've got our 4 cups of water, 1/2 cup of salt. We have to stir this until it's dissolved. If you have room in the refrigerator for this big massive production, be getting it cleaned out and ready. I don't, so I'm gonna have to leave it sitting out. Alright, I believe this is dissolved. As best I can tell. Kind of bubbly. Alright, so then we're going to take this, pour it over our cucumbers. Alright, and then we have to fill it up. I'm still doing stuff from yesterday. Alright, we've got to fill up the rest of the crock with water. So now we've got our cucumbers covered with the water, submerged in the ice. We need to take a plate and place it on top of the cucumbers to keep them under the water. Alright, so I've got it weighted down. If you have to, you can put a brick or a jar filled with water or something like that on top of the plate to keep it down. So far, mine's staying down pretty good, and I'll check it throughout the day. So the next step, what I'm going to do to keep it cold, since I don't have room in my refrigerator, is I'm going to put the top on here, and then I'm going to cover it with a blanket. Wrap it up. And just keep it cold. Okay, so that has to sit for at least 12 hours, no longer than 18 hours, and then we will start the next process. So I'll see you back shortly. Alright guys, it's time to stink up the house and get these pickles canning. This recipe makes 7 pints. Hope y'all can hear me over the fan because it's going to get stinking in here. Do this on a day that you can open up the doors and windows or something because the vinegar and spices, they do stink. Okay, I've got, instead of making a little tea bag, I've got this little acorn looking thing. I don't know what it is. That's what the spices go in. So the first thing is mixed pickling spice. We got 2 tablespoons of mixed pickling spice. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons in here. And I'm going to get Emma to be doing 8 cups of water. And put the... Yeah. Use stainless steel or something that is non-stick, that's not non-stick. Don't use aluminum. Use stainless steel or the ceramic porcelain. This is one of those speckled type. I don't even know what it's made out of. All right. So I'm going to do the 2 tablespoons of pickling spice while she's getting 8 cups of water. The pickling spice, let me turn this other light on. It has all kinds of little goodies in it. Just about too close, I think. There it goes. All kinds of spices in it. Pre-mixed. Okay. Alright, so we're going to put the top back on here. We're going to just drop this into the water. This is 8 cups. Put stuff up as I go. Set that over there in front of the difficult spice. Alright. Now, we've got to add the vinegar. 6 cups. 6 cups of vinegar, white vinegar. And this is, it's distilled, but you need to have 5% acidity. Most vinegars are. Just make sure when you buy it that it's 5% acidity for any kind of canning. And then our pickling salt, we need 3/4 cup. And I'm actually going to do 3 1/4 cups because it's, as y'all know by now, I fuss about this salt bag. I can't ever get in it.
Looks like a burger.
It's just vinegar.
Alright, 3/4 cup of salt. Alright, that was pickling salt. Sugar, white granulated sugar, need 1/4 cup. And I buy the 25-pound bags because whenever we get the jam and jelly in, we go through a lot. I don't know if I can get out. I would lose half of it on the way out. Ooh, my nose. Already stinks. Ain't even cooking yet. Alright. So we've got it turned on, fixing to heat up. Get a stainless steel metal spoon. It doesn't really matter. This is something you can do. Let me do it. Gotta share the jobs.
I can work.
Alright, so we've got to, we're heating it on medium high. Just dissolving everything. And, bring it to a rolling, simmering boil for 15 minutes. Get on the bottom, mix it all up. See all that white stuff in the bottom? Mix it all up. Emma's done changed outfits.
I don't know where my yellow one is.
I don't either.
You made your B one?
That's so cute. Yeah, look at her apron we made for her birthday present one year.
It was
Her birthday party 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah. She had some friends over and I had gotten a whole bunch of blue jeans. And so we cut them up and we made blue jean aprons, and they got to use my fabric and stuff and make them however they wanted to. Emma's has ruffles. Yeah, Emma's has ruffles and lace. So pretty. You got it dissolved yet?
Nope. Looks like it.
Looks like it. Okay, just leave the spoon in there. So that stuff gets sticky and it stinks. Alright, so while this is coming up to heat, I'm gonna pause you guys. We'll be back in just a second. Alright, so one more thing while we're waiting on that to boil. We got our jars in soapy hot water, and they're already clean. I'm just getting the dust and stuff off of them because they've been in a box sitting. So I'm just freshening them up, sterilizing them a little bit, and they're in hot soapy water. We're going to take that out and wash these off, but we are going to leave hot water in them. So as soon as that gets to boiling, I'll come over here and rinse these off, put hot water back in them, leave them sitting on the counter until I get ready to pack them. And because we are putting hot boiling liquid in jars, and if you put hot liquid in glass that's cool or cold, it will bust. So we've got to keep these warm while we're doing the process of getting them in the jars and getting them in the canner. I just wanted to show you that. And also don't forget to get your lids and your rings together that you need. I'm going to have 2 wide mouth on this one because that's the only jars I had left. And then the rest are going to be regular. Time to wash the cucumbers off. So we got this big crock together this morning, and it's been sitting for a long time. Wow, put that there. Oh. Alright, we're going to take our plate off. I guess you kind of need to see me, huh? Alright, take our plate and our lid off. And everything is dissolved already. Very cold cucumbers. So Emma moved the crock earlier to get in the drawer over there.
Alright.
And it scared her.
No, I didn't know it was
Yeah.
cold. I thought it was wet.
Yeah, she jumped. It was like really cold. Alright, so now we got to wash the salt off the cucumbers. I've got my extra large colander here. Under cold water. We're just going to wash them off. The water coming out of the faucet is actually warmer than this, because it's ice water. The Bostons are the dark ones. Bostons are the dark ones, and the homemade is the light ones.
That is cold.
Here.
Hold it.
Here.
It's cold. Get the rest of it out. Not much left.
Alright, spray these off.
No.
Woo!
Good.
Gracious.
My hand grew.
Alright.
I'm starting to
We've
get
got
the
about 6 more minutes left. So we're going to wash our jars out real quick. Alright, I'm going to put these over here amongst all the other junk over here. I'll pour this water out while I have a sink free. Alright, so we're going to fill the jars up with hot water and let them sit on the counter. Keep them warm for a little bit. We still got 5 minutes left. And I'll dump the water out as we fill them up with the cucumbers. I really need to have this thing videoing whenever I am overdoing something, because you ought to see these kids sitting here doing all these motions and stuff, and I'm like, it's not even recording. They're like, we know. I'm like, oh, okay.
That stinks.
What stinks?
This.
What is that?
Yellow seed.
Mushrooms.
Yellow mustard seed. Yeah.
Whole yellow mustard seed. And you got whole dill seed.
Can you see it?
Okay. Yep. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, you need to get on the other side. This is going to be a
Don't bring water.
3-part process, so I'm going to get them to help me.
Shouldn't say.
Pack them, pack them, pack them.
Make them as good as you can.
Yeah. What level is that? 26 minutes. I'm just first.
And we want to pack up to the bottom of here. That'll be your 1/2-inch headspace. Alright, so Logan and Emma. Logan's got 1 tablespoon dill seed. Emma's got 1 teaspoon mustard seed. They're going to put 1 each in here. Put 1 each in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spell it.
Yeah.
Spell it.
Y-E. Y-E. I really don't know.
1 each in there. Oh my gosh, y'all, look at this. I don't even look like I made a dent in that.
You did, Mom.
Okay, we'll get that put in there.
faith in that you made a dent in there.
Y'all got that put in there?
Sure do.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's roll over here. Y'all bring it. Yeah, bring the jars over there. Alright. We're going to ladle this into the jar.
Pure juice.
Alright, remember to get the air bubbles out. Go right up to the bottom. Right there. Getting the air bubbles out and packing the cucumbers down. You want to do one?
That's hot.
Yeah, they're a little warm.
Oh.
I'm not ready.
Okay.
I can sit in.
Yep. See, she listens when she wants to.
No, I actually didn't hear you, so.
You just guesstimating.
How do you do this?
You're doing good.
Okay.
We've never made dill pickles before.
Yeah, we made them last year.
Well, we made them last year with the burpless, and that did not turn out good. So this year that I grew pickling cucumbers just for this reason. That's good. You put just some more in there. Just leave it sitting there. Just put it in there. Bring it a little bit closer. Slide it over. There you go. Just put a hair more in there. That's good. Alright, we're going to get the last 4 done. Alright, she's getting the last one filled up. The canner in the back, the silver canner. It's the 16 quart Presto. And what I did is the rack is in the bottom. I'll just go ahead and show you. The rack is in the bottom. Got to put on our lids and rings. Hang on. Wet rag. Yeah, come on.
I
Remember?
remember.
Well, how about you do it?
Okay.
Hang on.
I showed you such that.
And so, why do we do this?
So the seal can stay on there without anything being work. So it'll still
I think she surprised herself.
No, I knew that. It's just been a while.
It's been a whole year. I haven't had to use this kind of information.
Okay. Continue.
Hang on. This is too wide enough for this.
I already done put them on there, Mama.
No, I'm in the rings. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Little bit of margin in my life.
When you're panning, your stuff just gets thrown everywhere. Right, that one.
You got no regular one.
Oh, it's right there. Hey, pan, find it.
You don't want them too tight. Just can't get long.
But you gotta have them on there tight enough. Alright, remember? Whenever we do it, you go to resistance and then finger tight. Emma's last time was too loose. And all the stuff come out. So I had to split up the pickles that I was doing because I had an incident with the other little videos that I had done. So, we're doing the dill pickles here. I've got these in quart jars. And I've got the mustard, the dill in here. And I've also put a teaspoon of pickle crisp in here. Just put it in there and it dissolves in the hot water. So now we're getting our water bath ready. And I'm going to put some water in there. About 4 inches deep. But I put in 2 gallons. And I'm not going to lie, I don't have anything deep enough to water bath quarts in. So we're just, this is the way I've always done it. They say to put the water an inch or 2 over your jars. But I'm just going to get it up as high as I can without it, boiling over. Which will barely cover them. But as long as the lids get hot and everything on the inside is already hot, we're just going to maintain the temperature. I think we processed these for 10 minutes in the water bath, so everything will be hot, and when it cools off, it's still going to seal. So we're just going to finish these up and get them in the water bath real quick. Alright. There's one jar. And I'm not putting any garlic in mine. I don't want to make kosher deals. I just want regular dill. The last pickles that you guys saw at the beginning of this video, because it's kind of weird, it's kind of a split video. In quarts, I'm putting 2 tablespoons of dill seed in here and 2 teaspoons of mustard seed, because it's 1 each for pints. And then I'm putting a teaspoon of pickle crisp in here. And then once you pour the liquid over, it dissolves. Remember, get all your little bubbles out, because whenever the bubbles start coming up, the water level goes down. Make sure you pack them in there good. You don't absolutely have to use mason jars or ball jars or cur or not during water bathing, because you are not pressurizing them. You have to use specific canning jars for pressure canning, which would be your ball, cur, mason, and knot, or any other ones. I think was it Golden Harvest from Walmart has become popular around here in the last several years. Yeah, see, this is Golden Harvest. These are the ones I probably got last year. Alright, we're going to pack, pack, pack. Because if not, your pickles are going to float and you're going to have liquid in the bottom. And it's just wasted room. Might as well pickle them while you got them in here. Use less jars. Now, I do them all the way up to the rim. Right here where it starts to curve. Right there. I stop at that lip because you want 1/2 inch head space, which is right above that little lip. That way they'll all be underneath the brine. Alright, so let's go back over here. Two tablespoons dill. 2 teaspoons mustard. 1 teaspoon pickle crisp. And then I'll brine. Alright, I'm going to finish filling up these jars, and then we will put lids on them and put them in the canner. So I've already got this turned on. Sorry, I inhaled the brine. That's took my breath. On high, and I'm going to let this be warming up while we finish up the jars, and then I'll bring you back and we'll put lids and rings on them. Alright, so we got 6 jars filled. And my seeds are starting to come out. It happens. They all don't want to go in there. Alright, so we have to clean the rims off before we put our lids on. Just going to get a wet paper towel. Some people do this with vinegar, but I mean, there's so much vinegar in here, you could probably wash it with a dry towel and be safe. But this is just to get the debris off the rims. Make sure you don't feel any cracks or chips off your jars, and to get all the little, little seeds that want to escape off there, because it's going to cause it not to seal if it's on that rim. Alright. And then we got our lids, unused lids. Some people like to sterilize these, some people don't. I be the one that don't. Alright, and then we've got rings. In the last batch that I did, which was actually the start of this video, after they got through cooking, there was a lot of water that went down in those. So I filled these up just a little bit more. And these are just finger tight, so 2 resistance and then 1 more little pinch. Try to clean up as I go. Don't always happen though. Now we're going to set our jars in here, and the water level, we may need to put some more water in, which is fine because we don't start timing it until it starts bubbling, boiling. Almost, let's see. Woo, almost made it, just a little bit more. The hot water in here so it doesn't cause it to cool off too much. Alright, you see they have just started covering the lids, all but that one, and that's because my stove is kind of crooked. The front sitting on the new floor and the back is sitting on the old floor. And whenever we put it in, we didn't have it quite level, because then we got our floors leveled. So now it's tilted even more. So, there we go. And as soon as that starts boiling, that darn brine is tough. But as soon as it starts boiling, then we will turn the timer on for 10 minutes. And you can use your water bath canner if you have one of these. You can use the lid and put on top of this. Like that. Because you don't want to put the pressure canner top on it unless you just, you know, loosely lay it on there without matching up the grooves on there and just lightly sitting it on there. You can do that, but I'll just put this on there, and then it will heat up. We will start our timer for 10 minutes, I believe. Make sure. 10 minutes for pints, 15 for quarts. That's what I was thinking. 10 minutes for pints, which is the original recipe. I doubled it and did quarts. So now it's 15 minutes of water bath. So, I will see you back shortly. I will show you what this looks like when it starts boiling, and then we will start the timer from there. So while I had the slices for the dill pickle slices already cut up, I had some extra, and I did with the spears. So I cut those, and whenever I was choosing which cucumbers to do what with, because I wanted to do one of each. I wanted to do one slice recipe batch and one spear batch. So I was picking out the straightest cucumbers and the cucumbers that were as even of a length as I could, like, you know, kind of grouping them all together. So the odd ones that were either curled, or if they were shorter, or if they were, you know, longer than the rest of them, those are the ones I used for the slices. All the spears, I categorized them as being, you know, kind of even length, cut the ends off them, and quartered them. And so now I'm going to show you how to do the spears, which is the same recipe the same way, but I want to give you some tips on packing them in the jars because they can be a little difficult. So I'm going to sit you right here. Alright, so we got a clean, warm jar just like the rest. No chips, no cracks. Alright. So I'll try to get all my pickles that were of even length. And there's no particular way to pack these, but I like to put them in sideways. Get as much of them as I can in the first time. I do have a regular mouth. These are easier to do with a wide mouth. I just don't purchase wide mouths. Never have. I never got them. So whenever you are packing these, you want to do it on the side of the jar. Lay it on its side. So that way they can kind of fill in the empty spaces. As you kind of shake them, they'll fill in the empty spaces. The only thing with the spears is that you can't judge it, can't judge the spacing by the end or either end, because the middle is what's fat. The middle is where you're going to get your room from, because that's where they are the fattest. The cucumbers are the fattest. So you just kind of have to work them in there. As they'll fit. See, I've got room down there, but I don't think I will get another one in here. I'm going to try. Just for the sake of saying I tried. Uh-oh, look, I got one more. I don't think I'll get one more. And if we don't, that's okay. I gotta see, look, there's a space right there. I'm going to try to fit it right there. Oh, look. Alright, so see, all my cucumbers are pretty much even. Oh, there's a long one in there. But they're pretty much even. And I got them out about between 5 and 6 inches long before they got too ripe. And that way I knew they would fit in quart jars. If you want pints, you can either let them go a little bit longer without getting overripe and cut them in half. Or you can just pick them younger. And that way they'll fit in pints. But usually, spears come in quarts. Alright, so I've got enough for 2 of them here. I've got some more in there I'm going to cut real quick too. Not right now. Alright, so we're going to use the same recipe after I just cleaned up and put everything up, right? Oh, okay. Clean up as I go, and then I have to get it back out. So we got whole mustard seed, whole dill seed, and let me tell you guys, I found these on Amazon. If I remember to, I'll put these in the link. But you can buy these. These are $3 or $4, depending on what the store wants to charge. You can get these. This is 1.4 ounce. This is 22 ounces. So 1.4, 22. This is $3 or $4. So in order to equal as much as this, you'd have to get like what, $66 or something, $70. I paid $12 on Amazon each for these things. To do a recipe, you'll have to have like 3 of these. So that's equal to one of these, and you get a bunch of recipes out of it. So I just wanted to give you that tidbit of advice. Alright. So with the quarts, we're going to do 2 teaspoons mustard, 1 teaspoon pickle crisp, and 2 tablespoons of dill seed. Now, I will say there is a difference. I'm going to bring this up too while I'm thinking about it. There is a difference between dill head, dill weed, and dill seed. Okay, just so you know that. Like in my recipe book that I'm using, the Ball Canning and Preserving book, this is Grandma's Dill Pickled is what we're doing. Pretty. It actually calls for, let's see, 10.5 fresh dill heads, but it says beside it, or 7 tablespoons of dill seeds, or finely chopped dill weed. So dill seeds, dill weed, I think are interchangeable. Dill heads is what the difference is. Pretty, 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 pretty. And let's do it again. Pickle first. 2 mustard seeds. 2 dill weed. I think I said before, we did like the recipe that we made at the beginning of this video. We did already try them, but those videos suffered. After I packed them and got them in the canner and all that stuff, yeah. So, having to kind of pick up where I left off on the canner part and go from there with the rest of the video. I gotta go get some lids, but we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna wipe the lids off and put the rings on here, and then these will also process for 15 minutes since they are quartz as well. And I've still got these going back here. Let's check on them. Check on them real quick. Yep, not bubbling yet. They're getting there. Starting to get the bubbles on the lids, so they're getting there. Alright, so we're going to let these process. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the spears, and then I'll bring you back when that's boiling. We'll time that, and then I'm going to swap them out, and then I will show you the end result. When you take the top off, it stops boiling. Better to leave it on there. Alright guys, time is up, and we are ready to take them out. Get the spears swapped over. Pretty, pretty. But they are hot. Leave about 1 inch between your jars. And you don't have to leave them sitting on the stove. You can put them on a table or wherever you want to put them. These are great. I'll leave about 1 inch between your jars because they got to get airflow between them in order to cool off. Alright, and then I'm putting in my spears. They're so pretty. Shake them up a little bit. Just twist them and shake them up a little bit. And I've only got 4 of these. So if you need to, you can fill up an empty jar and put in here, or just water. Just fill it up with water, put a top on it, put it in here, and that'll fill up some of that space. Or I'm just going to leave mine like that and put a little bit more water in there. Perfect. That was an extra gallon. Alright, now we've got to cover these up. Those bubbles right there, it's just air out of your jars, which is fine. That's good. We're trying to make it expand, and the water and everything, you know, is going to expand inside, and then it's going to shrink down as it cools, and that's what pulls that lid down. Now with these that we just got out, we need to cover them with a towel. I'm going to get a bigger towel. We're going to cover these with a towel. It ain't got to be perfect. I'm going to leave mine open on the end because the airflow needs to go through them just a little bit. But we've got to let them cool slow. If they cool too slow, it'll evaporate the water out of there, And it could also bust your jars. But usually I take these into the table in there. But I'm going to leave them in here for now. Just because they are really hot. So these are going to sit for at least 24 hours. They're going to cool. I may move them in there to the table in a little bit. If you do move them, just make sure that you are doing it very carefully and don't turn them over, because that will create a false seal. I've already had 2 to pop. Let's see if we can catch one. Is that the one? Yep, that was it. Alright, timer's up. Cut that off. And you can tilt it just slightly. I mean, not even enough to really tell you did anything. Because remember, if you tip it over now, you'll have a false seal. Okay, I'm still bubbling. Still cooking. Yay! Ain't those pretty? Alright, we'll cover these with a towel and let them sit overnight as well. So here's our pickles. They're so pretty. Well, I hope you enjoyed the dill pickle video of processing beginning to end, making Grandma's dill pickles. It is out of the Ball Canning Preserving cookbook, if you happen to have that. If you want to have a recipe in hand, I just walk you through it to show you the things to do and give you some little tips. So it is in the Ball book. This one right here. Grandma's dill pickles. Those are the ones that we made. We did slices and spears. So hope you enjoyed it. I hope you go out and make you some pickles. I hope you love them and eat them and make them every year. And I hope God blesses you with a garden as bountiful as He has mine. Until next time, God bless and we love you guys. Bye-bye.